Hello and welcome to the 381st episode of the Unranked podcast. This is Christian Humes here with Dan Weine
Hello.
and Tom Caswell.
2 times the minus.
Tuna is out with the sickness.
I'm pretty sure it's got to be work related, right? Like for him to be like last
it could be
second
kid.
like
It could be kid related.
He's been busy because he has not been responding really to any texts for the last several days. So I knew when he didn't reply today.
I had a feeling.
I was like,
I was actually gonna make a joke if he never replied that he died.
Yeah. I was about to text him like, "Are you alive?" Because he hasn't responded to anything in days, which is not normal. That's a Tom Caswell move.
Yeah,
that's not a.
Yeah,
that's
it is
not true. You're not a multi-day. You're more of a multi-hour guy, Tom.
A multi-hour guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Do not disturb.
I'll tell you this: if there's been a smattering of chatter in the group chat, I will engage. Sure. But if it's been like a conversation that has gone on for like there's I'm not.
Yeah, of course.
I wipe my hands.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
I wipe my hands.
Yeah. Which that a lot of the times I'll wake up in the morning and you guys have already had your chat, or you guys are already doing your chatting, and I'm not looking at my phone because it's early in the morning and I'm up and I'm like, showering or whatever. And I get back, I look at my phone, there's like 14 messages. I'm like, I'm not jumping in.
This is done already. Guys?
Yep, it's done. It's done.
You usually wake up before I do.
I don't. I think with the 3-hour difference, I don't know if that's true. Or Dan just hasn't gone to bed yet.
That's also possible. But usually I've gone to bed around 4 or 5 in the morning. So
yeah. But I mean, that's like when I go to bed, because I usually go to bed at 1 or 2.
Sure.
So we're
but I'm not up having conversations hours before you're awake.
We're probably waking up around the same time, though.
Probably around the same time.
You're just doing it 3 hours later than me.
But I also am like not engaging with anything for like a couple hours after that.
You're usually in there by 9 a.m.
9 a.m.? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Tom's shaking his head too.
You were at
9
a.m. your time, like maybe
Pacific.
Maybe
9 my time. 9 my
maybe
time.
Noon.
Yeah,
possibly.
I'm not even in there at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Because usually when the chat's popping off for me, like I'll look at my phone at like 10 is usually when I start.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the times I look at it, I'm like, I looked at it too late. It's already happened. It's gone down. It's off. Oh, well. Let's talk about today's Pokemon.
Who is it?
We are at the end of this generation.
We're at the end, baby.
We have
very exciting stuff.
Very few left. I can't believe we're coming up on another one. It's the 381st Pokemon. Its name is Latios. Dan, wild guess. Could you guess what Latios looks like? Last week we had Latios.
Yeah, but that assumes I was paying attention last week and remembered anything. This looks like the guy version of that.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it. It was
held it, bro.
Like pink before. Now it's blue. So it went from pink and gray to blue and gray. That's or white, I guess you might call.
I am looking at Latios right now, and I don't recall ever seeing this Pokemon before in my life. So it's very possible while you guys were chatting up with Tuna, I was not paying attention. I was watching something else on TV while we were doing this.
Very possible. Very possible.
I guess it's more like a red and blue and pink, but the colors are, Anyway, it's the same typing. That's really, I think, the only disappointing thing about this Pokemon duo, known as the Eon duo, is that they are both psychic dragon types, but also it's such a cool typing that it's fine. You can kind of let it go. It seems like they could have done something different there. Maybe like a dark dragon. What makes
something a dragon type? Does it have to breathe fire to be a dragon?
No. Dragon usually has some sort of like serpentine qualities. Usually can like fly. Might have like mystical abilities. There's different, different kinds of dragons.
Okay, I never know exactly what constitutes an official dragon as opposed to dragon-like things.
Yeah, I mean, Charizard, for example, is classically not a dragon Pokemon.
Not a dragon. Not even a flying Pokemon.
No, it is a flying Pokemon.
Well, was he not originally? I'm trying to remember what it was.
No, he was fire flying. He was never dragon. That was the crazy thing about him.
But he couldn't
and they never
fly,
changed that, right?
No,
couldn't.
they never changed
I
it.
thought he couldn't learn fly either.
I don't know about that.
I think he can learn fly. Yeah.
Now I think originally he could. I'm looking it
up. So in Pokemon X and Y, when they introduced Mega Evolutions, that's when they did the Dragon type Charizard with Mega Charizard.
Mega Char, yeah.
Yeah, there were two Mega Charizards. One that was not a Dragon type, and one that was. But
so Charizard originally could not learn fly for whatever reason.
Weird.
They did not put it in the original games, Red and Blue, that he could learn fly, and
that's especially considering he's a flying type.
Yeah. Yep. It's wild. Almost makes you wonder if Charizard originally was going to have wings and stuff with the final version. You know,
that's
if
good point.
Just because there were no wings on Charmeleon,
they could have like made him like Machamp version of Charmeleon.
Could be.
Just roided out.
I mean, if you made Charizard a little softer looking, he could be a ringer for pre-evolution for Dragonite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, so there's a lot of weird mixing going on there. First generation, it's great, but also a little confusing.
Wonky.
Could someone guess or tell me? We don't have Tuna here, so I need the name etymology of this Pokemon.
Latin, royal, right?
Yeah.
Oh no. That was Reggie. That was the Reggie.
Latinos.
I'm gonna go with something before you get the right answer, because you're gonna get to the right answer.
I don't know if I am actually.
Okay, well, I thought you were going to. I think this is a perpetually late person to their uncle's house.
Okay.
From the word late, lat, and tio meaning uncle.
I love
there's
that.
There's is it, how is it spelled? Oh yeah, okay.
Latios, right?
Latios.
381.
Sure. That's not what they were going for.
Wait, Tom, what were you gonna say? Sorry for interrupting.
No. It was I was thinking of the Reggie Pokemon, the Reggie Ice and everything, because they were royal for Regis.
Yes,
but it was something else Latin. It was something
Latin for conceal.
And Tio
concealing
Teo
hiding the uncles.
Os is
it's a Pokemon that murders it's a Hannibal Lecter villain, and it just murders uncles.
It just eats
that's
them?
its target. Yeah.
With some beans.
It swoops in, snatches them up, takes it to very much
and a nice Chianti.
Very much like everyone's favorite episode of The Mandalorian, episode 4 of season 3 with the kid and the dragon that snatches it up. It just does that, snatches up the uncle, takes it to its.
You know, every time I think about that episode, I just think about what a cool idea they had.
Yes,
with such poor execution.
Yes,
but again, I Jon Favreau can only do so much on his own.
Yep.
I'm so excited for Ahsoka though. Filoni was like, Favreau, you can't fuck this up too bad. You got this whole season. I'm gonna go do this other show that I really wanted to do the whole time.
Let's see.
Which is why I forced Ahsoka to be into the Mandalorian and also into the Book of Boba Fett, so I could set up the live action Rebel show that I've always wanted.
Let's see how it goes. But yes, conceal and os, just the masculine suffix. Os.
Yeah.
Latios.
Operating system.
Yeah.
I think so. This Pokemon, I think, has a great design. I think they're cool. It's
I agree.
Fun to have, like a futuristic, but there's not a lot to say after Latias because it doesn't even have an different typing.
No, it's literally just blue.
Yeah.
Or purple, or whatever color this is.
And so now remaining are the 3 actual like legendary Pokemon. You know, the cover, the box art.
Yeah,
Pokemon,
baby.
And the mythical Pokemon. And then we have, I think, 5 left. I think we have 5 weeks left. So it's probably like the first week of August is Generation 4.
Wow.
So,
holy shit. Yeah. There we go.
We'll do something for that. But
I'm excited because I know so much more about Gen 4 than I do Gen 3.
That's great.
Like, I learned that Gen 3
step up.
It helped me learn that the Gen 2 wasn't just some word that they had made up to describe the bunch of Pokemon, and that it was actually Generation 2.
Wow.
It took me like weeks and weeks to figure that out, and I was like, "Why do we keep calling them Gen 2?" and then
Gen 4 is, I think, one of the smallest amounts. It's like just over 100 Pokemon. And it's the last generation that Alex hadn't played. So he'll never be able to say, like, I don't know, I haven't seen this Pokemon before.
Sure. I mean, I don't have a lot of faith for him post.
Yeah, I know.
In the generations that he has played either, but we'll see how that goes.
I definitely agree about that, but here we are. All right, what's going on, boys? How we doing? How's everybody going? What's happening? Dan, let's start with you. How you been?
I'm happening good. No, I got like a busy week of work this week, so I'm actually like not just sitting around waiting for TV to come out.
Sure.
Yeah, I had to wake up early yesterday. I was up at like 9 a.m. our time and at work by then. So I've been recovering from the tiredness of yesterday today. And then I'm working most of this weekend. So that'll be fun.
Now, when you say you had to, like, were you going in? This wasn't like remote work?
Yeah, no, I can't. When I'm actually doing my job, it can't be remote because
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I guess.
You playing anything? I saw you played some Peggle 2 on your stream.
Yeah, I was streaming Peggle 2. I didn't realize how that game existed anymore. Like I haven't looked at it in years.
It's such a great game.
In and I was like, oh, okay. My plan was to like play it all the way through, and I was like, but I've already like accomplished everything and I can't reset.
Sure.
So then I just started to get some like the achievements I couldn't get years ago and I just gave up.
So, yeah, I love Peggle.
And then I'm not streaming this weekend, so I'll be back next Tuesday with some other game.
I think Peggle is probably the only. I mean, it's definitely like out of 5. One of the few, if not the only, the original. I've actually never played Peggle 2. Mobile games that has like an ending.
Sure.
That I've played the whole thing.
There is the other Peggle that doesn't have an ending, which I think
that's Peggle Blast.
Yeah, Dan played, I think, an insane amount of Peggle Blast.
I played a lot of Peggle Blast at one point, but yeah, the original Peggle I played like a month or two ago on stream, maybe a month ago. And that was a lot
on
shorter.
My original iPhone.
Yeah, there was a lot less happening in the original.
Yeah, the second one's a little more. It's they're both.
Who's your favorite character for Peggle? Who do you play as?
In the first one, I can't remember any of the characters anymore because I haven't looked at the game.
I did not even remember that you had characters.
I mean, that was the second one. They really went deep on that, and that's
exactly. The second one, I like a couple of them.
They modify how it plays, right?
Yeah, like your power
special. They're special.
Coming back. It's coming back to me.
What do you call those that they bump into? There's
the green
bumpers.
Blocks.
Yeah, there's green blocks. There's like 2, I think, on each course.
Yeah,
so like
you get 2.
You could get 2, or you and the opponent could split and each get 1. Or
but they I like the I don't know what he's called, but the electric guy who.
Okay, yeah.
When you use
that one's really good.
You knock out like a bunch of pegs at a time.
Yeah, does the big like electric arc. That one's awesome.
Yeah,
I remember really liking the dragon just because it was straightforward. You just get that big blast of fire. And the owl one, because he did the time.
I don't know if the dragon's into
right. Oh, is it not?
It might be in Blast.
It's wild that on the iPhone you really can only get Peggle Blast. Peggle 1 is not available anymore, and Peggle 2.
This is like what just happened with Angry Birds.
So fucking annoying.
They got rid of like the original Angry Birds because,
and now isn't it like an Apple Arcade?
Yeah, and the thing is that like people, the problem is like because either these things went onto a subscription service or because they don't want people being satisfied playing like the actual game, and they
don't want people satisfying themselves while they play the games.
They want they want you to watch ads and pay for shit. So they like pulled them, which is the worst.
There's a million Angry Birds games here though. Like holy shit.
I can't believe Sega bought Angry Birds. So Sega owns the Angry Birds company now, right?
Rovio. Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah, so Sega, you think we'll see like an Angry Birds Sonic? Yo, oh my god.
Angry Sonic Birds.
Oh my god.
Shoot.
One of the best Sonic games, one of the best Sonic games of all time. Tom, what is it?
One of the best Sonic games?
Yeah. Undisputed. Best
the one that came out in 2006.
Sonic games of all time.
I mean, if you're asking me, it's Sonic Adventure, but
Sonic Adventure 2 is better than Sonic Adventure, but that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you to name Sonic
Mania.
Spinball.
Oh, a game I don't think I've ever heard of.
The Sonic Pinball game is fantastic. A Sonic Peggle or a Sonic like Angry Birds would be awesome. Imagine if like you could shoot like Sonic, he's in like, you know, his like spin move and you could like blast it at enemies and
yeah,
shit.
You could
that
shoot him at
dope.
people. You can't shoot him. It doesn't let you actually kill Sonic.
Correct. Not yet.
Gotcha.
Anymore. You can do that in a lot of other games.
So
That's the sequel.
Yeah.
Sega is in the like that kind of like, it's kind of a Blizzard Microsoft situation. Like the deal is pending. It's not gone.
No one's blocking that.
No one's blocking that, but it just hasn't had like they don't have.
Sega's gonna have a monopoly on games that most people don't really like.
Yeah,
they like the IP, but they don't really like the games. Although there's that new Sonic game that looks really good.
Sonic
Superstars,
Superstars,
probably
baby.
going to be fine at best, but it does look cool.
I've heard it's from people that went hands on.
I know, but you got to take every Sonic game
with a grain of salt.
With the biggest grain of salt you can find.
Yeah. I thought you were supposed to take each Sonic game with an 8-ball.
Do people do?
Gotta go fast.
Still? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It didn't really make sense. I just wanted to say something with cocaine. It was because Sonic reminds me of just like someone who just can't stop moving fast, which would
can't stop, won't stop.
That's true.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh my god! I want remake Speed with Sonic.
You can't remake Speed without Keanu Reeves.
But how does that?
Back in the movie.
But what? But what does that mean? No,
because Keanu Reeves is plot Shadow the Hedgehog. He puts a belt on Sonic, and if Sonic goes slower than a certain speed, it explodes.
So wait, is there no more bus?
No, that Sonic is the vehicle.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sonic would have to be the thing that can't go slow,
but
because
that's fucked up.
It's not simply
he would need an unlimited amount of calories to keep going.
That's what's gonna make it hard. People are gonna have to be like tossing him chili dogs.
That's basically now, instead of Speed, you've made the movie. Was it Crank? Was that the movie?
Yes,
with,
Crank. Yes,
he has to keep going.
Sonic in Crank is really the movie we need.
Because that's really a person,
dude,
who can't stop.
I mean, you could just put this in the next Sonic movie.
The Crank movies, along
Crank
with the
4,
Transporter,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Have there been 3 other Cranks? I think there was only 2.
I've never seen a single one of these, but I remember them
definitely 2
looking cool.
It was a Jason. It was in Jason the middle Statham, of Jason Statham's like absolute dominance in the action.
In the second
genre.
movie, I think. In the
Maybe
second movie,
he was just ping pong between Transporter and Crank.
It's crazy, but there's a scene where he's like fucking Amy Smart in the movie because he's got to keep the heart rate up. So he's like gonna die if he doesn't like just like fuck her right there in the middle of wherever the fuck they are.
2000s, what a time!
I might watch that movie tonight.
What a script!
I think I might watch Crank tonight.
Amazing.
I watched Ghosted, an Apple TV movie.
Oh, I heard that was not good.
I
heard
Tom, it's one of those like perfectly bad movies where it's like,
oh, I saw Ghosted.
Yeah, I mean, I like watching a good movie every now and then in between, binging a series on a weekly basis.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was fine. Like
it wasn't. I mean, look, classic.
It's real dumb.
Cinema.
Like it's a real dumb movie, especially at the beginning. Like Teresa and I were definitely laughing a lot. But that's what's fun about it. It's like this thing's over in 2 hours or less, and you're never gonna have to think about it again. It's not the Ghosted universe.
You got crazy over the top bad guys that really don't make any sense that they exist, and
the characters are all insane.
No,
I honestly have no idea. I thought it was a rom-com thing, but I guess
it's a spy rom-com.
Okay,
it's a
and no offense to Anna de Armas, but this is probably the best
title
she can do in this type of movie.
That's a shame.
It's a really bad title for the movie because it's supposed to be like Chris Evans gets ghosted, which is like the events of the movie. It's like
which is like ghosted, someone walked in.
She's
100%.
a spy.
Did you mean inciting incident?
What did I say?
Impotent.
No, I didn't say impotent.
You might have just heard it wrong.
Yeah,
maybe I just heard it wrong.
I think someone walked into a room with a script and without a script even, and they were like, "I made a movie. It's about a guy who gets ghosted." And they're like, can you give us a script?" And they were like, haven't thought that far ahead. So, I'll go try to make something. And this is what they came up with. Because
look, it's totally fine. It was fun. 2 hours gone. We were like, what do we want to watch? And we were caught up on everything, caught up on Lost. We don't have any other series going. And so it was like, do you want to start one of these 4 shows we have on our like list of things to watch? And it was like, I'm not in the mood to start a new show right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's more ridiculous as a character? Chris Evans in not another teen movie Chris Evans, or this Chris Evans from Ghosted? Because I think this guy's the most insufferable version they can ever write of Chris Evans.
This one's worse because he's supposed to be sincere in this movie. It's not another teen movie's a joke. So
yeah, but that's also like the only other movie I could think of where he's ridiculous in it. He doesn't really do ridiculous a whole lot, does he?
The Knives Out.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's in Knives Out.
Knives Out.
He's done ridiculous. Chris Evans has done a smorgasbord of different roles and performances over his career.
He plays like a really needy kind of like man in this movie. He plays like a really needy.
Because when you look like Chris Evans, you get really needy because no one ever wants you.
Like Chris Evans, like if you look like Chris Evans, you're gonna be walking around insecure and needy. Like this guy.
No one wants to be with me. So. I look like Chris Evans.
Yeah. He is also
better not blow this one. There's not 18 more opportunities around every corner.
Yeah, top. You should watch this movie.
No, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it.
It's funny.
No,
come on. You've wasted your time on so much worse than this movie.
I mean,
it's funny.
You bring up. We talked about a couple of things here. We talked about Crank. Dan about consuming needing to consume calories, keep going fast. We talked about mediocre films. One movie that combines both those elements is The Flash. A movie I've now seen. I wasn't going to go see it, and then my boss asked me like, "Are you seeing The Flash this weekend? Are you doing any content around it?" And I was like, "I guess I'm going to go see The Flash." So I went Saturday morning. It is neither a bad film. I'm going to say it's not a bad film, but it is definitely not the high praise that a lot of if James Gunn is like, this is what the DCU needs,
he has to say that he's in charge of it now, even if he didn't make this filth.
If he actually thinks that's the problem.
If you've heard him talk about like the stuff that's in the pipeline before his revamp, right?
Yeah.
When he talks about like Aquaman, he's just like, and in November we have Aquaman 2, and he does nothing. He says nothing else to describe it.
I hear you.
When it's The Flash, he's like, this movie is freaking awesome. He said it's the best superhero movie he's ever seen.
I thought it was just impressive how they got to pay him in just poor life choices.
I got to tell you, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't have a lot of confidence in either a DC universe that is run while the psycho who's running, Warner.
HBO, yes.
While Zaslav's around, I have zero faith in any DC stuff.
Did you see the Spielberg thing?
Tom, it's all the guy that's running that company is going to drive it into the ground. The sharks are coming out for blood soon. I think if
the sharks
keeps going the way he's going, he's not going to be in charge of that company for very long, which is good. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think James Gunn is one of those guys. He's kind of like Taika, and he needs someone who like can say no to him. And I don't know if he should be,
Sure.
But we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because the one thing Marvel needs is like real competition, so that they can't feel like they can just put out anything and expect people to watch it. They have to prioritize quality the way that they used to, because they haven't in the same way. So, but they're not going to. They're not going to if DC is like garbage still, because the best you're going to get is still Marvel right now.
Did you watch Secret Invasion?
I have not watched it yet, but I have heard the first couple episodes are not great. So
they're okay. The first episode was okay. I just watched it.
We're going away this weekend, and then Teresa's going to be away the next weekend. So I'm going to wait till she gets back, and then we're going to watch. Like, there'll be like 3 episodes out. Sure. It'll be like.
That's probably I think that's definitely smart, because I definitely left the first episode being like, oh, okay. Like,
all these shows should have been movies so far. Almost every single one of these shows should have been a movie.
And I'll tell you this: the first episode of this really
Yeah.
made me feel like this should have been a movie.
The concept for this stuff of like, I'm going to give you a movie budget, but you're going to make like 6 or 8 episodes is a good idea. But most of these things didn't need to be shows because there was actually like the right amount of content for a movie, maybe a little bit more. And instead, then they're filling like with stuff that kind of like dulls it. And then you're like, oh, well, half the episodes are fine to
Yeah.
And then half the episodes are great. But like, you could have just had one really great movie instead.
Yeah,
like,
this
Loki,
unfortunately
good TV
but then
show.
you couldn't lose all the money on the streaming side, so
yeah, Loki was a good example of the format working, for
and
sure.
WandaVision,
I think the pacing and WandaVision,
yeah, Loki was like serialized, kind of almost serialized in a way.
Well, it had just like these like every 2 episodes was kind of like a different arc. It worked very well.
Each episode's like a vignette.
This one, we'll see where it goes. But back to Flash, fine film. Had some enjoyable moments. It really is just like I just wish we got a Keaton Batman film because he is 100% the star of the show. I actually really liked. I believe her name is Sasha Calle or Callie, who plays Supergirl. I thought she gets introduced pretty late into the movie, but she makes like a pretty big impact. I enjoyed that character. And funnily enough, I thought that all of the complaints about the CG, which if you're looking at it as CG that's meant to represent like true to life imagery, it's bad. But I do buy the director when he says these CG elements that people are complaining about because they happen during him like slowing down and fucking with time.
Yeah.
I do believe when he says no, they're not meant to look, it's not meant to look real. It's meant to look like this different reality. Whether that's true or not,
I haven't seen the movie.
I bought it.
So I can't really speak to it. But the clips I've seen going around, the CG just looks bad in some of those. So...
I mean, it's not even when it is in the moments where it's meant to be like true CG. It's not the best, but that there is definitely like a stylistic choice happening in those moments.
I'm also like pretty forgiving with CG because at the same time, like none of this shit's real, right?
What?
Like we're doing things that are all fake, and like we're only now at the point where they can like attempt these things like in a reasonable fashion, but it's still not going to be perfect, and it's not going to be for a very long time. So you know,
not in the way the industry is being run, certainly.
Right, exactly. So it's just, you know, it just needs to be serviceable, which I'm sure it is. Right?
Yeah.
Like
it was serviceable.
That's fine. That's fine. You play anything?
I picked up a couple of I started playing Mortal Kombat 11. Because I was testing out a device for work and I was playing stuff through Game Pass and I saw that was on there. So I booted that up and very fun, very cool.
Yeah.
Enjoyed. I think I will jump into Mortal Kombat 1 when that comes out. I
was mad that Cyrax isn't in it because that was my guy.
That was your dude.
Yeah.
I think Liu Kang's gonna be my guy. I enjoy his fighting style. I got a little bit further. I'm in the midst of the Fire Temple, which I think I agree with you, Chris. I think so far from everything that I've played with it is my favorite of the 3 that I've played so far. I think I was kind of waiting for the rail system and all that to come into play more. So yeah, so I'm in the middle of that.
I'll be honest with you. I did the rail system for like 2 of them, and I said, "That's enough." And then I just started flying around. And that's what I did with most of this game. Like the water temple, getting up to the water temple. Same with even like the one with the Ritos. Like I'm like, this is pretty cool, and I was like, but it's right there. And then I just built a device and I flew right up to it, which is the kind of the beauty of the game. You're like, I could do this Breath of the Wild, old school Zelda style, or I could do it new Zelda style.
New Zelda style. How do you like your noodles? I'm enjoying that. Honestly, I wanted to like play more games over this long weekend that I had, but I was like so video gamed out that I I was like, you know what? There's shows that I want to catch up on without Brooke, and there's like things that I want to watch that I just have neglected to do. And so I finished Foundation season 1 in prep for season 2.
Right. She's not a fan.
She enjoyed it, but it was one of those things where it was just like we would watch an episode every kind of now and then. It wasn't like
you gotta just watch it.
And that's the thing is, like, I told her, I was like, look, season 2 of this show is coming out. I want to finish season 1. It just kind of got lost in the shuffle. I was like, I want to finish season 1. Do you want to finish it with me before this comes out? And she's like, no, you can just watch it. I enjoyed it. It's funny. I actually think it lost a little bit of steam towards the end of the season, but it kind of ended on a really cool note.
Yes.
Have you watched this show, Dan?
No.
It's good.
So light spoilers for the end of season 1 of Foundation, unless you are opposed to hearing anything, Dan. But there's this.
I'm curious, which thing is this on?
Apple.
This is Apple TV. This is the show based on Isaac Asimov's thing.
I think I was planning on watching that one.
There you go.
So there was one I saw. Did it just come out recently, or has it been out for a while?
It came out almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2021 the first
coming
season.
out.
But probably not the one I'm thinking of. You feel free to spoil. The one I was thinking of was coming out soonish.
I'll keep it light. Basically, there's this empire. The premise of the show is that, and the books that it's based off of, it's about this galactic empire, and it's kind of the rise and fall. Well, mainly the fall that it focuses on.
It's the fall. The thing you have to know about this empire is it's our universe, and it's so far into the future that this empire has existed for thousands of years at this point, so long and so widespread that there are debates amongst a lot of people as to where like the origins of humanity even exist. Yeah. Like that's how far away they are from like humans living on Earth.
Yeah,
that like
thousands.
No one even knows where people came from anymore.
Yeah, it's a cool little tidbit when people talk about that, and and it's told over the course of. I mean, the books are told over the course of hundreds and hundreds of years, and the show has a couple of time jumps. But the cool thing is like, because of like cryo freezing and space travel, like you're getting new characters with the time jumps, but there are old characters, including the Emperor, the
Emperor is cool.
Dude, Cleon might be like the coolest concept for a fucking character ever made.
So you should know. This is actually one of the biggest departures from the books. This is not a thing in the books. This is something they came up with for the show. And in many ways, the first season of the show is almost like a prequel to the books because there's so many departures from it. But the way it ends, it's sort of like, it's almost like they built a prequel to the books with the first season.
Interesting. So when you say that this is not something that's in the books they don't have
no like dawn, day, dusk. That is
what?
That is a brilliant creation.
It's so good.
It's one of the coolest, Dan. It's one of the coolest like ideas I've ever seen.
Yeah, so
you should explain it.
The concept is that there was the original emperor, and now at any given time there are clones of him that run the empire, and they are dawn, day, and dusk, and they're the emperor at different stages in his life, and they raise each other. So there's like the older, like wise older version, there's the like 30-year-old in his prime Lee Pace version, and then there's the child that they like raise and groom to be the next emperor. And like as the old one goes to die, a new one is born, and they cycle through.
Are they clones, or are they just
they're
like
all clones? People? No, they're all clones of the same person.
So like the first emperor basically cloned himself and raised that baby, and when he was old, and that baby was the right age, he became dusk, and then that one became day, and then they had a new baby which became dawn, and so then they just keep replacing them.
Then what's the last step? Dust?
They literally dust themselves.
They vaporize the emperor.
Okay.
When it's time, which like there's basically, especially because of the clones, like they start to have like their genetics start failing as they start to get to a certain age, like their mind starts to go.
Classic.
that's when they do the ceremony of like birthing the new one. And
why does that happen with clones?
Well, I think it's also just a like human, which is interesting because they're so far into the future. But like, oh, guess what? It turns out we never figured out immortality. We never figured out how to keep people alive forever.
The thing with clones and having that issue is I feel like usually the clones are created because the person is having that issue and they need the new spare parts.
Sure.
But then if your process is just cloning the same person over and over again, why wouldn't you try some, I don't know, genetic experimentation to maybe
no, but
fix the
it's
issue?
not like in 20 years your clone dies. It's like this clone's like 80 years old. Like he's got to like he's just dying of old age.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's not. So gotcha.
It's when I say like their mind is breaking down because they're just
old.
Yeah.
Their condition is just they got old.
They have the original emperor like frozen, like
they
stasis.
They
That's
pull
where they get
the
DNA
DNA from the original emperor every time. And the cool thing is when the show
better
stopped,
than continuing
getting
to get
it from
damaged. Like if you keep getting it from clones, then it's just going to get more damage. So you got to get it from.
Though?
But
is that how it works?
Would
they just be identical every time?
The other thing with it is there's elements to the story of like what happens to the process over the
I wouldn't say anything else now because now
I'm not going
it's really cool. It's also like 9 or 10 episodes. I will say, and Thomas said this before, it's visually one of the best looking things I've ever seen on TV. Easily. It's funny when looks better than a lot of blockbusters these days.
I agree. I think that some of the sets look very TV.
All the stuff on that planet.
Yeah, on Terminus. Yes.
Yeah, Terminus is like the one inconsistent thing about the show. Like the stuff on Terminus is very like depending on the episode, it's like
yeah. But the CG is unbelievable and the designs for the ships and everything. Anyway, you know what? I'm not even going to get to the.
I loved it. I'm so glad you watched it.
Talk about. I was super into it when it came when we were first watching it, but it just kind of slipped by, and I'm glad that I finished. And I watched the trailer for season 2, and I was like, oh, we're getting weird.
It's also got one of my favorite actors of all time in it, Jared Harris.
Pace. Oh, Jared Harris.
Lee Pace is great, but I love Jared Harris.
Yeah, he's great. Jared Harris is great. Anyway, Foundation, highly recommend. Season 2 is coming out in July.
Have you seen The Crowded Room at all? Speaking of stuff that's on Apple,
I heard that was not good too. So.
It's not bad.
Okay.
I've enjoyed it. Like
I struggle to see Tom Holland as anything other than Spider-Man. That's my biggest.
Man, I gotta tell you,
but he
needs a better agent because he could totally do other things. He needs if you compare him to like Shia LaBeouf was getting all these cool movies.
The Booth,
he was getting
like Tom Holland in Transformers.
Yeah, but like they both had their blockbuster, but Buff also got like to do an Indiana Jones. He got he was doing like some artsy movies.
Yeah, he had a bunch of shit he did just all over the map.
Tom Holland needs like some better roles.
Well, he's taking a break apparently after this Crowded Room.
Yeah,
this movie
and his fiance Zendaya is getting.
Yeah, the crazy part is this show's based on a true story, and he couldn't handle it. Like it's so weird.
Oh, the Crowded Room.
Yeah.
I was talking about Zendaya's new film. Where's he getting?
Oh, I saw that. You posted the poster. I didn't see the film.
Crowded Room has a 33% Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know.
I mean,
worse than The Flash.
It means nothing. I just like to look at it anyway.
I don't know. I don't know if the audience score is similar or if anyone really cares.
No, audience score is 89, but you've never fucking like.
See, like I'm enjoying the show, but I guess if you're a critic, you're like you don't like it for whatever reason. I don't know.
I just think it's funny that like people seem to really not like this from what I've heard, at least critics. So I'm glad that you've said that because maybe I'll watch it now.
They're really pushing it on. It's like every time I put
my hair, they paid Tom Holland. They're gonna push it.
The hair looks so weird.
Yeah, makes sense.
The hair looks so weird, but also it's just so funny to me that this role that apparently people don't love, he's like it was so hard to do. I had to like get into character. That's why he took a break from acting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give anything about it away, but like it's based on a real person, and he literally is playing a crazy person.
Yeah, of course.
So like I guess he wanted to go really into the character and become crazy for a little bit.
Yeah,
probably for himself.
This is where these actors start to lose me.
Yeah,
this is some.
But it's something different for him, and he's not bad in it. But at times, I'm like, I wish it wasn't Tom Holland. I wish it was someone else.
What about who would you cast instead?
Shia LaBeouf. I'm not just kidding.
Well,
He'd
he
actually
is
be
a
better at
psycho.
it because he is crazy. No, this actually would have been a good Ezra Miller film, or TV show if he wasn't in the news or
What
in the
about Zac
Flash.
Efron?
I don't think he can pull it off. Have you
I
seen
think he
Zac
can do
Efron?
it.
Have you seen Zac Efron recently?
Yeah.
I don't think he can look
Greatest
natural
beer
anymore.
run ever was awesome.
I don't know if he can look like a natural human being anymore. So I don't know if you could put him in the 70s.
What do you mean? What is it? What looks weird about him?
Didn't he get like a bunch of Botox done?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen
He
that.
got he had surgery. He had an accident that like misaligned his jaw, and so
okay.
he got surgery to fix it, and then
Yeah, he looks
everyone
like
like
this.
ragged on
No.
him
Oh, he
because
got
of
Mark Hamill.
He kind of looks like he
did
tried to
that happen to
become
Mark Hamill?
Chris Pine a little bit. Here, let me.
What
This is
happened to
his
Mark
face.
Hamill?
This is his
Are you
face now.
kidding me?
I don't know
I
what
mean,
happened
it's
to Mark
not
Hamill.
ideal. You never noticed that Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, looked so fucking different in The Empire Strikes Back versus A New Hope.
I've never paid attention hard
My
enough
man
to
was
No.
in
to his
my
face.
man was in a bad accident, and
Really?
his shit got jacked up, and I believe that it like really hurt his career as well.
What?
Yeah,
It's kind of funny to talk about Mark Hamill as having a hurt career now because you don't think of it like that.
Well,
And
but
he's
he was
had so
trying
much
to do other
success
roles.
with. I know, but he's had like so much success with like voice acting at this point.
I
Where it's
don't
like kind
know.
of
He
funny.
just looks older. I don't
But now that's because he has all wrinkly face.
Yeah, now he's just
that's because
normal.
he is
know,
old.
but I'm looking at pictures of him in fucking Empire versus New Hope.
Dude, that's part of why they fuck him up at the beginning of The Empire Strikes Back.
Fuck him up.
That's
Is that
like
the technical
literally
term?
part of why they fucked up his face in that movie.
He looks just older. I don't know.
Like he didn't have a Mickey Rourke anything happen, but like
Mickey
he still got a
Rourke
little fucked
also
up.
looks
what
like he had
happened
a
to
lot of
Mickey
drugs.
Rourke?
Wasn't he in like a bad motorcycle accident or something like that? Or a car accident? He got his face like completely fucked up. If you look at Mickey Rourke like early 80s to Mickey Rourke late 80s, it's a crazy. His face got jacked up.
Well, anyway, it totally changed the shape of his nose completely. I don't know how you didn't notice that.
No, I really did not notice.
Yeah, it definitely looked like over time it like lessened, but like between New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, which the whole like they fucked up his face at the beginning of the
he
movie.
got the accident happened before the first Star Wars even came out.
Wow.
Yeah. That like he was still it was at the tail end of they was shooting pickups for the first film.
Yeah, I remember I remember reading stuff about how like he was trying to do more like also doing like romantic like heartthrobby like kind of movies or like other things, but then like people didn't want to cast him in it anymore because his face was like scarred in some places and stuff.
Shit.
It's like that's fucked up, man. So there you go. I would take Greatest Beer Run Ever, Zac Efron. I watched that. I think that might have been on Apple TV.
That is an Apple TV.
That's a fun movie.
There you go.
You should watch that.
I'm gonna watch it before The Crowded Room. That's for goddamn
No,
sure.
it's actually very good. He's basically just like he's kind of a
Tom. You just watched The Flash. You could watch anything.
He's kind of a like not going anywhere kind of guy in his life, and he kind of like he talks big, but he doesn't really follow through on anything, and so everyone likes him, but he's like no one really believes anything he says. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna bring the boys some beers in Vietnam. And they're like, yeah, sure you are. And then he's so mad that no one believes him that he fucking goes into Vietnam.
Don't cry wolf. Don't cry wolf. You're going to bring the boys in Nam some beers.
And so like as a civilian, he goes in to do this. And it's based on a true story.
I have seen I think I have seen the trailer in multiple because I think it was a theatrical release as well.
It's actually I really liked it. I had a very good time watching that movie.
There we go.
So Tom and I played some VR.
Oh, yes, we have been playing some VR.
I want to play more Minigolf. I'm just addicted to Minigolf. I try not to play it ever unless we're playing together because it's more fun if there's a game between us. And I feel like I don't want to play the courses ahead of you either.
Dude, that that one we played on my stream
it's great.
No, it was not great for me. All right. It was not great for me. We've decided to play one of the hard holes. So each of the courses has a regular mode and then a hard mode. and the hard mode is substantially more difficult.
Yeah.
But Chris had a nice string of luck. All the holes
I was
that
still
had like
up
some
like plus 10 at the end. It's not like
I know,
crushed
but
it.
I was like a plus 50. It felt like at the end of it. That bamboo shoot, man. Oh God, that broke me.
I sort of wish there was a way Dan could play this not in VR.
I'd be okay with that, but again, there's no way to do it.
No, I know. But like so in the normal mode on the normal courses, Dan, they have a ball hidden at every single hole. And it's just like, cosmetics. So that you could have different balls, which is great because there's like 20 fucking courses in this game, and every hole has a hidden ball to find it. So there's like a couple hundred balls that you'll be able to choose from, which every other golf game, like a lot of the time you got to pay for that. Like you get like a handful of things to choose from and then you got to pay for the rest of them. This one, it's just like, we're just going to give you a ton of things to like find. It's like a treasure hunt. But when we played hard mode, it was so awesome because instead they had like 10 objects hidden on the course anywhere. Like it wasn't per hole.
Like, give me an example of one.
So they were all on this course. They were all
like origami cranes.
Yeah, they were origami cranes.
Okay. Gotcha.
No, they were foxes. They're origami foxes.
That's right. Yes.
But you can only one is available to find at a time. So like the others don't appear. Like the second one won't appear till you find the first one. So it can be anywhere on the whole course. But the cool thing is they give you like a riddle. It'll be like somewhere near the bamboo forest, atop the mossy rock. And so like we're like zooming out.
Yeah.
Doing
and you just like have to like grab it or something, or how do you?
You got to find it. Yeah, you got to find it.
Yeah, okay, it has like this sucking.
But you don't have to like hit the ball into it or anything.
No. The club. If you pull back on the club with the joystick, it turns into like a tractor beam, so you can pick up the balls and pick up the hidden things.
Gotcha. So if you pull on the shaft of the club, you get to the balls.
Yes,
that's what you're saying.
It'll come to you.
Yes, gotcha. Pull on the shaft. Okay. Bulls will come.
It's such a funny thing for them to do, though. It's like, oh hey, while you're like waiting for your turn, here's a riddle. Go do this treasure hunt. And it sounds dumb, but it was actually like super fun. We ended up just saving them to the last hole that we did all of them. But it was a good time.
That was the way to do it.
I told you about this thing, but I want to show you, Tom. I got this for my PSVR, and this is so awesome because it's got two little speakers like on the sides, so they point down towards your ears. So instead of putting the headphones in, you can have your ears open to the outside world, which is kind of nice. I'm mostly not going to use it because the audio quality isn't like super high. I mean, this was like $20. I think they sell it on. I saw it was being sold on Alibaba for like $13. However, what I'm really glad about having this for is if people want to come over and I want to play VR with other people, and they don't have to be like, here, put these things in your ears.
Right.
It's like when Matt came over, I was like, oh, let me wipe these off for you. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? And now I can just put this on and then anyone can play with it. And it's like, it was so cheap. It's awesome. And it just like clips. It's like curved to the same curve as the headset. So it just clips into it. It's very cool. It's very nice. I'm almost done with Zelda. I have 30 shrines left. Tom, have you found any pieces of the Giga armor set?
Yes.
Have you? How many?
One, I'm pretty sure.
Which one?
Just one.
Do you know where you found it?
Up north, strong, yes. Northeast. What's that town? It begins with an A.
Okay, Akala. You found it at the old telescope place from the Breath of the Wild.
Correct.
Okay, you should find the other ones. There's basically a quest involving it, but they don't give you a quest for it, and it's there's like specifically something you can do in the game, which is amazing, but you can't do it, and there's this whole like sub quest thing that you'll just like the game will never really direct you towards, and it's really bizarre, but it's very useful and fun. So I would highly recommend you find the other ones. You should just head back to that original one. But I told Alex this too, and I'm glad I did, because he was like, oh, I wish I had this earlier. I'm like, this is why I tried to like just like nudge you in that direction. By the way, he's basically done. He might have finished it, because on
that's
Sunday,
what he's doing right now. That's why he skipped out tonight.
That's 100% what I think.
Oh, you think that's what it was?
Yeah. Well,
that's
and also
hilarious.
so So in 2 weeks, we're doing the Power Hour presentations.
Mhm.
We're gonna randomize one. We're not picking who we're making them for. So it's gonna be a grab bag, like when we do it. So that way, like no one's targeting, like, oh, I'm gonna make this thing for Chris to have to read. It's gonna be randomized.
But like, how many we're making total each?
3. So 2 for
Okay.
yourself to deliver, and 1 for one of the 3
But
of
we
us
are
to
going to
deliver.
pick out which ones we are doing for ourselves. Then they just go into a grab bag for the other people ones, right?
Yeah, the 4th one will just each
Okay,
we'll pick like a random word or something. Everyone will name their other slideshow the name of an animal, and when it's your turn to go do one of those, you pick an animal name. So that way you have no idea who made that one.
Yeah.
Also, we should probably this time around on the slides just have your first slide be a blank slide so that we don't like, because when I share screens, remember, like it showed everything what it was before.
Gotcha. So be like, we'll put like, I don't know, Dan presentation 1 or something on the first.
Yeah, it'd be like Dan presentation 1, Dan presentation 2, and then pick an animal name for the 3rd one.
The lobster. No one's ever named anything that.
That way, like when we're picking random ones, you're just picking one of the animal names that isn't the animal name that you picked. You'll have no idea who did it. It'll be more fun that way. It's a great idea by our listener. Try to do that. I'm very excited. I have my 2 almost complete, so I'm very pumped for it. It's gonna be fun. I don't know, but I think Alex is drinking because he said he was like, I can do it if we do it on a weekend, because there's no reason otherwise we wouldn't just do this on a weekday during a normal episode. So I think, Alex, this is going to be the first time in like 2 power hours, which means a couple of years, basically since the baby. That
which is good because he's insufferable when he's sober during a power hour.
I know. That's true. Indeed. I don't got anything else. You want to talk about news?
Let's jump into news.
No news this week.
None. All right, moving on. No.
The only real big thing to talk about is today's Nintendo Direct that happened earlier this morning. I'm assuming Chris knows about what was shown. I don't know about Dan.
Only way to find out.
It was kind of a grab. Well, you can find out right now.
Or you can. I mean, I saw a couple of articles written.
Oh, great.
Kind of a big Mario's
back, baby.
Mario's back. That, like,
finally,
you know,
an RPG remake.
I mean, look, that was probably the biggest news, right? Everyone who's played Super Mario RPG is excited. Are you excited, Chris?
I am really excited for this because I'm one of those freaks that every time a new Smash is coming out, I'm like, we're getting Geno. Come on, give me fucking Geno and Smash. One of the coolest characters when I was a kid. I've always loved that character. Have either of you played this game, Mario?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
So I never owned it. I didn't even know it existed, like when it was Super, because, you know, when it was out, like on Super Nintendo.
Sure.
We had one, but when, you know, Super Nintendo was out, I was really young, and the internet was still pretty early. It was like the earliest memories I really have with video games, the internet, would be IGN 64. You know, it's like when the beginning of the N64 era. So the only games I knew about were the games I had, you know, and no one I knew had Super Mario RPG. Mario RPG. However, in 2002, when I downloaded an emulator for the first time,
very cool,
so I could play Dungeon Dice Monsters.
Okay.
Which was a great game. It was a spin-off of Yu-Gi-Oh! It was awesome. It was like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tactics game. It was so fucking cool. Basically, like, you got, instead of like a deck of monsters, each one had like a dice, and it was sort of like you know, like the higher power ones could roll like multiple dice or higher dice roll. It was fucking sweet. That was a very cool game. But then I was like, oh, what other video games can I download? Because I'm like, you know, a 14-year-old boy who thinks he can just download any video game he wants now. Like,
hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I found Super Mario RPG. That game didn't,
like, what the heck is this?
run great when it came out. Like, it was very
on the
slow.
SNES.
Even on the SNES, like it ran fine, but it's like really slow, especially with the turn-based, and stuff didn't have like the level of animation that it has now. But the sick thing about running on the emulator was I could be like, oh, give me like 4 times speed on this.
Gotcha.
So like I blew through that, but that's the only time I've played it. So I'm really excited to play it now in 3D.
Right. Yeah, no. So that was the kind of I think there was some rumors this was going to happen, and it did. It's coming out this year as well, which is exciting, November 17th. I'm curious to check it out. One of the cool things is this and a bunch of the other new stuff that was announced is going to be a part of that. I've got that voucher, Chris, burning a hole in my pocket.
I'm buying a second one now.
There you go.
I gotta buy a second voucher because I used my one ticket. I used a ticket on
Zelda,
and I was saving a ticket possibly for Pikmin, but now I'm definitely gonna Detective Pikachu, which we'll talk about, and I'm definitely getting Mario Wonder, and I'm definitely getting RPG. So
yeah.
So I'm buying another voucher.
Mario Wonder, of course, being the new 2D Mario game, the only new.
Really quick, Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
The best thing about thinking about that today. Do you guys remember the music video? All the things you said, Tatu.
No.
What a defining.
I remember this song.
What a defining moment in a young man's life that was.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, you got to watch this music video.
Not just young men.
Sure, yeah, and young women.
Yeah.
Well, because it was the two singers, these two women, like basically just like making out in the rain.
They were like in the rain and then making out, and it was
and they're from Russia,
and they're from Russia, and and apparently they were not actually like together, but they would like make out during every concert. It was like a thing, so they became a big lesbian icon.
Yeah,
as a group.
This I was reminded of it because I basically have a couple very vivid memories of like playing Dungeon Dice Monsters, Super Mario RPG, and watching the Tatu music video like on repeat on my PC.
And it was just Chris trying to emulate what it was like throwing dice the whole time while I was watching the video.
Throwing a lot of dice.
Throwing so many dice. Amazing.
Tom's like, why are we talking about this?
I was like, what is this got to do with this? So yeah, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, the first 2D Mario, other than I guess if you want to count the Super Mario Maker games, in like a decade. That'll be coming out this year as well, October 20th. Yeah,
that's how long it's been since a new Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, because the last one was New Super Mario Brothers U.
Wow, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, we haven't had a new one since then.
Digging my grave now.
Yeah. So this has a similar art style, but it's actually quite different when you look at them back to back. I really like the new art style, and it's called Super Mario Bros. Wonder because there are these wonder flowers, and when you eat one of those, it like remixes the world. Weird stuff starts to happen. The pipes start crawling around. Mario's turning into an elephant. He's stretching like Miss Fantastic. Looks very cool.
Can we just stop for a moment? Sure. And ask, why in a franchise where everything you eat are mushrooms that fuck with you, which are like look like psychedelic mushrooms, by the way, why he's eating a flower for this like fucking clearly like a drug fever dream like effect to your game. He's eating a flower and not a mushroom.
Yeah, I mean,
they had that one mushroom in the Mario Maker game that was like weird Mario. It should have just been that. It should have been like that, the weird mushroom that made him like all skinny and fucked up.
Well, maybe it's the thing of like, you know, when people do shrooms, they'll also like smoke as well to kind of like elevate the trip. So maybe that's what's going on.
That is,
you know, it's like the mushrooms aren't really kicking in. Let me take this bud and
listen. I just want to sit down and talk to our listeners for a minute.
Okay.
If you're at the point where the shrooms alone are not quite enough, maybe just take a break for a little bit. Maybe just
it's good advice.
You don't have to keep adding to it.
Or
you take a wonder flower.
Yeah, you take one flower, you take a shot.
Yeah.
Let's see how many drugs can I take at once.
Yeah. So yeah, that's coming out October 20th. A couple of weeks before that, we will be getting a new Detective Pikachu, which they had I forgot that this was announced what seems like forever ago, but here it is, Detective Pikachu Returns.
This was
October
announced
6th.
Around the time that the movie came out.
No way, really?
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't it?
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing now, right? That's the thing. Games just take fucking forever to make now. So just don't tell us about them until it's time. Or I guess like that's fair. If they're gonna be like, we're making another one, and then just shut up about it for years, that's also fine.
That's fine, I guess. Yeah, why not? Like,
yeah, that's fine.
We're gonna do it, but like, we'll tell you about it eventually.
It's better than being teased like every year about the game that's like not coming.
Yes, agreed.
I did forget that it was coming though. I was like, oh shit, Detective Pikachu.
So you're excited for this? I never played the first.
I didn't play the first one either. I never played the only thing I've done with Detective Pikachu other than see the movie.
Watch that movie.
No, around the time the movie was coming out,
it was a music video.
That was one of the first times I went on Hyper RPG. I did a one shot where I played what the hell is that kid's name? Tim? The main character? Yeah, Tim. I was him, and Emily was Detective Pikachu.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, we did a one shot for Hyper. It was fun. But I was like, I've never played this. And Matt was like, just be like a good boy. I was like, got it.
Just be a good boy. Well, now you get to play the sequel and see what the role that you were playing. So that is coming out in October. Another thing that's coming out in October, Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 1, October 24th. We're getting more Tears of the Kingdom amiibo, Zelda and Ganondorf coming out holiday. A new WarioWare Move It.
Oh yeah, I'll play that. WarioWare is a fun game. Dan, have you ever played a WarioWare game?
No, I have not.
You would like a WarioWare game, I think.
Why is that? What is it?
They're micro games. It's like Mario Party without the board game part. And
there's a bunch of mini games.
Yeah, but they're micro games. And they're weird. They're one of the staples of WarioWare is that the games are bizarre. So like the games, some of them last 10 seconds, some of them last maybe 30 seconds.
Oh, so from like a normal sex to a long period of sex.
It's the TikTok of Mario Party is sort of what you got. That's a fun thing. Does it have multiplayer to say, Tom?
Up to 4 players can play at once. And this game seems to be all about holding a set of Joy-Cons and just being as ridiculous as possible.
Now, can you play it online?
Good question.
That is a great question. I don't know if that's
there's multiplayer. I need 3 friends in my house,
right?
Or there's multiplayer. I can play it with people who are not in my house,
right?
Man,
the best kind of people.
If this has online, if I'm getting this too, I guess I'm buying 2 more of those vouchers.
Again, more vouchers.
I'm getting Voucher City over here.
Well, as you mentioned before, one of the things that you were picking up with that voucher is Pikmin 4, coming out July 21st. We got a kind of an extended look at this game. One of the big differences is like you can go and do expeditions at night, which apparently is not what you've been able to do in the past, from what I'm understanding. I find it really hard to get excited about Pikmin.
Isn't this also the first like Unreal Engine game they're doing? Wasn't that a thing? Is that Pikmin's on Unreal and that Nintendo's going to start using Unreal Engine?
I actually believe that is correct. I think I read something about that today. Pikmin 4.
Yeah, it does.
I remember getting really excited about Pikmin back when it first came out.
Yeah, Unreal
and being like, "Oh, I want to play that really badly." And then I saw someone playing it, and I lost all interest.
I've been on the fence as to whether or not I was going to do Pikmin. With WarioWare now, I probably will because I'll save enough money by doing the vouchers that like I may as well just get Pikmin, you know?
It's really funny. So I'm reading the development paragraph on the Wikipedia page for Pikmin 4. And it says here, on September 7th, 2015, Pikmin creator Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed to Eurogame that Pikmin 4 was in development and, quote, very close to completion. On July 7th, 2016, Miyamoto said in an E3 interview with Game Rant that Pikmin 4 was still in development. And in 2017, he reassured Eurogamer that the game was still progressing. And in the years to follow, the game was widely considered vaporware, which is funny. Yes. So that is coming out in July. So it is finally coming. Also, if you want to catch up on the Pikmin series, Dan, they will be releasing Pikmin 1 and 2 in the Nintendo eShop in HD.
Does not do it for me.
That is,
there you go.
Listen, I'm all for being like, I should play this one before I play. You don't need to do this with Pikmin. Just play the newest. If you're gonna play Pikmin, play the newest one that's gonna have everything the old ones had plus the new stuff. Don't fucking go back and play the most bare bones ass Pikmin that ever existed. Don't do that.
We got
They
looks.
still look cute.
They do.
We got looks at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, Teal Mask, and Indigo Disc. Nothing really.
Maybe.
We did not get any release dates, which was surprising. It was just like more of a look at the games.
And maybe they don't want to put a hard date till they feel like the performance is good enough.
But yeah, that makes sense.
Game Freak is very particular about making sure when the game comes out, it runs smoothly.
The Indigo Disc looked really interesting. The second one, that's the one set at like the third academy, and it has like an underwater dome that has like multiple like small biomes, which was cool. Yeah, hopefully, we'll see where all of this goes. We'll see whether Switch 2 rumors turn out to be true. We'll see what happens with that.
I'm shocked by how many new games they announced, with both the Mario Wonder, a Peach game next year, Detective Pikachu, and fucking WarioWare and Mario RPG. I'm like, I really expected the rest of this year to be just fuck all, because they're like, whatever, people.
Well, it's not
10 more million people will buy Tears of the Kingdom this year. We don't even need another game.
Yes, it's not. I mean, it's not massive, right? It's not like a 2D. I mean, a 2D Mario will sell very, very
pretty
well.
Big deal, especially because it's not New Super Mario Brothers, which people kind of have a bad taste in their mouth about. And I personally felt like the previous one on Wii U really felt like a cash grab. Like that one felt lazy and kind of uninspired.
Sure.
So I'm pumped about the new one though.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Luigi's Mansion 2 remake or remaster, and a new Princess Peach game coming out next year. We don't really have any details on the Peach game, what it's going to be, but they said
maybe it's like Peach and the Giant Peach, just a James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah, Peach and the Giant Peach
rip off.
They did a Super Princess Peach game, and it was actually really fun. And that's where some of her moves from the video, like Super Smash Bros., come from. Like her hip check with the hearts and stuff like that, actually comes from her Super Princess Peach game. It was pretty awesome, and I was always surprised that they never did a follow up.
I didn't know that there had been a print. I thought because they made quite a big deal. I thought it was going to be like, this is the first one, but I guess there were others. Boost pack course, more Mario 8 Deluxe courses coming. Squeaky Clean Spring is the new one this time. This is one of our favorite things in Halo. In Forge, this one is in shrunk down in a bathroom.
Oh, love it.
The course.
Wait, is this a new course or is it from a previous...
new course? No, it's new. So
I didn't know that we got a new one this time.
Yeah,
I didn't look at it.
In the last couple of booster packs, they've added new courses. Like one of the courses, a lot of them have been from new. Yes, most of them have been. Game. Yeah, a lot of them have been tour. All of the ones that are like based on a city have been all the tour ones. They're actually really good. Like, I'm glad that they haven't been restricted to the tour game, because they're actually like really good.
I haven't played with a lot of these as much as I should. However, the nice thing about that is, like, at this point, I could go open it up and it's basically like having a brand new Mario Kart game. You've got a whole new game.
Yeah, 100%.
I keep thinking about doing it. Maybe when I'm done with Tears of the Kingdom, I'll do, because I've been looking for like, what is the game I'm going to play for a little while after Zelda before I go back to Jedi, because I'm not doing a 100+ hour adventure game and then going into another fucking adventure game.
Why not?
I can't. It was like after I did Assassin's Creed, I put like 150 hours into that game. I was like, all right, I'm not doing another one of these for a while.
My brain is melted.
This course pass will also be adding 3 new characters: P. Piranha, Wiggler, and Comic will be playable. In Mario Kart. Vampire Survivors coming to Switch.
Ooh, they just put out new DLC for that. I'm thinking about playing it on the Xbox for the first time and just starting over, because as much as I loved it on the Steam Deck, towards the end of that game, it really started to like chug and get framey, because I just had so many objects happening at once. And from what I've seen on the Xbox, it runs, buttery smooth. So I might play it there. They put out a whole new like region. Great fucking game. Great game.
And those are the headlines. There was a ton of other smaller things, But those are the big stuff. I actually enjoyed this direct. I don't think it was like the biggest thing, but I think my expectations were kind of so low.
Presentation, I think.
I completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree.
There were a shocking amount of things that I played on here, and I realized my Xbox is going to get very little use this year, unless I get into Starfield.
Sure.
If I don't get into Starfield, this is going to be the first time possibly ever in my life where I'm going to play more on my PlayStation than my Xbox because of PSVR.
What if you get into Garfield instead? Just hate Mondays.
I already hate Mondays and love lasagna. So
well, there you go.
Could say I'm into Garfield.
All right. Let's get into Garfield this year.
You know what actually is a great thing though is Garfield without Garfield, the comic strips. Have you seen those?
That, yeah.
They're so good.
John's going fucking nuts.
John just looks like he's like one bad day away from suicide every time you read those comics. They look that is a dark story without our orange friend. Anything else? Or we want to do some mail?
Let's get into the mail.
Here's the mail. Never fails. 805-73-8692 to call and leave us a voicemail. It's my favorite thing. I love when you guys do this. It's great. Keep it going. Keep them coming. We got one here. I'm going to play it.
Yo, dudes. It's Slater. I'm calling a week late on this, but I just wanted to give some thoughts about the Xbox Game Showcase. I kind of agree with Christian, where I've just been so disappointed by Microsoft that I was losing a little faith. I thought it was overly reliant, the showcase as a whole was overly reliant on a lot of CGI trailers, not much gameplay, not many dates. I know dates have been tough, and there's been a lot of pushback, so that was probably a conscious decision, but still frustrating to see. I think Avowed looked awesome. But there was something a little last-gen-y about it to me. But if it's like the scale of a Skyrim or something that has that many gameplay options, that many ways to play, I'm totally fine with putting graphics aside. It's all good. Starfield looked amazing. I think you guys hit the nail on the head. But do want to call out, we still haven't seen Perfect Dark. And it's really starting to get depressing that we haven't heard anything about that game in like years. So, okay, I think that about does it. Stay ranked and lick it.
Oh.
It feels like I have heard about Perfect Dark because we talk about
we talk about not seeing Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I know, but like, it comes up like that, like best games from like N64.
Anytime the Xbox Showcase comes around, Chris gets out his what is it, the circle with the candles, and he starts a ceremony.
I do like a summoning circle.
Yeah, summoning circle. That's right. So the thing about the CG, so from what I understand, everything was in game, like not necessarily gameplay, but in engine or whatever. So the stuff, like for example, like Fable looked incredible.
I know that's true, but I don't know if that's what it'll really look like when I'm playing.
Right, of course.
And as much as that might be correct, and as much as I would like to trust them, I just don't, because they haven't delivered recently on basically anything.
Any front, yeah. The thing about Avowed, that game is not going to be Skyrim scale. It's going to be substantially smaller than Skyrim. Apparently, they were initially pushing for like, we're going to make our own Skyrim, and then they substantially scaled the game down. But what they are promising is a kind of deeper experience. So it's not going to be like you're going to have as many things to do, but the things that you do, they've put more time and attention into. So I actually think that that's a smart way for them to go with that game, rather than just being like, well, why would I play this when I can play Skyrim? And obviously it doesn't look, I agree with him, it probably was, out of all of the new games coming out, looks the most last gen-y, but
it did have a
I think they're going to hopefully with a very focused scale have it be good.
I thought I don't know if this is correct, but I believe I read in a couple places that they compared it to the Outer Worlds in scale.
Size, yes. It's going to be, they said,
So maybe like a 15 to 20 hour game.
Yes.
Which, to be honest with you, that's actually
Great.
for me
Perfect.
Yeah, because especially if Starfield hits, I don't need another thing that big.
Yeah. Well, not even. I mean, it wouldn't even be close to that big. But yes, I agree with you. Like, once you've built if they nail this RPG, and it's like the open world RPG to end all open world RPG, is like everything after that is going to fall flat potentially. So I agree. I think it's the right move.
I agree with everything you said. I got to tell you, like Perfect Dark, I got so excited when they first showed it off. But the one thing that has scared me that I've never been able to like forget, which I wish I could, was they said this is our first quadruple A video game.
Yes,
and all I thought
means
was
we'll see it in 20 years,
or it will just, or it will
happen.
never come out.
Yeah,
it'll just be a broken. Every time they're like, this is going to be the most expensive game ever, unless it was Grand Theft Auto. It never was like the thing they said it was going to be. And also, Grand Theft Auto still controls like shit. Please stop doing that, Rockstar. I hate the way those games control. I'm just saying that because, rumors are next year, GTA.
They're coming out with more DLC? No.
If they put out, I mean, they're still putting out DLC for that thing.
I mean, they're still putting out DLC for the online.
Man, a GTA next year would be, that'd be fucking choice.
I don't know. I think we'll hear about it. I don't know if we're gonna get it. I think hearing about it, slam dunk. I think hearing about it, slam dunk. I think getting it, you're shooting for the basket in a different court, in a different state.
The leak they had like over a year ago, like there was like playable shit, and that leak was apparently old.
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, I'm sure they've had a playable game for
but there was wasn't there the earnings call? Like, I believe because that's public information, they're legally not supposed to mislead, right? So if they're saying they're targeting for a major AAA release next year, then that means they are targeting to release next year.
Sure. But I feel like I brought this up to Tuna. I think I brought this up to Tuna with a legal thing where I was like, oh, doesn't this? I forget what it was, but
it was ambiguous. Yes. It was ambiguous enough that it was like, oh, they would like for that to happen.
Exactly. Probably. And that's probably the same thing with this is like, well, we'll see.
When they announced GTA and showed it off, it was supposed to come out like within the year, and then it got delayed.
Well, look, I'm not saying that they internally aren't hoping to ship it next year. I'm just saying that if it will, also at the end of the day, we'll see.
All right. We got some questions here in the Discord. Questions for the pod. Whoa. Psych Mike. Tom, you're going to have to do this first. Which one of you can do the best impression of Golem singing Shapoopy? Suck it.
All right.
Because I don't know what this is, so I don't know how I can.
You don't know Shapoopy?
No.
It's from the music, man.
I only know of the song and what it's actually from an episode of Family Guy.
Yes, the song. It is in Family Guy.
I know it's not from there, but I do know
it's from the music.
That's what
I had no idea. I thought maybe it was from the Golem video game.
No.
I had no idea what it was.
So the lyric goes, Shapoopy, Shapoopy, the girl who's hard to get. Shapoopy, Shapoopy, but you can win her yet.
Okay.
And I'm doing like Golem? Okay. Yeah. All right. Shapoopy.
That just sounds like an
I'm adding that to the soundboard.
No, hang on.
You should just take your headphones off.
Hang on. No. Hang on. I gotta like physically get into it too, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I hear you.
Shapoop. Shapoopy, 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 the girl is out to get. Shapoopy, 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 but you could win her yet. That was not good, but it was something. So there you go. Enjoy that.
Oh. Very nice. Thank you.
Are you guys doing it,
Mike? I don't know the song.
No, fuck off! I just gave you the lyrics. Fine. No, they can't top it, guys. So they're throwing in the towel.
I'm trying to debate if I could make that noise or not. That I want to make. I could hear it in my head. But can I make the noise? That's the
Yes,
question.
that was the thing. Is it was in my head, and then when I went to go do it, it was not
Yeah,
in
it's
my
tough
voice.
because the only golem voice I've ever tried to do is lines from the movie. But
Sure, of
Well,
course.
just do that with the lines he said.
Yeah, but it's different because you only really know how to, enunciate in that specific way for those words. I have no reference point for how he says even the word girl.
Sure.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough. I think Tom did a slam dunk.
Yeah, slam dunk. Thank
Slam
you.
dunk.
Move
4
on.
out of 10
Downtown.
impression of the year.
Yeah,
Thank
why not? We'll do it together as a duet.
No, I'm good.
All right. What is
I'll do it during the power hour when I'm a little drunk.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
That'll be
duet.
one of
We'll
your
get Tuna. We'll do a quartet of it.
Tuna's is
We'll
gonna
get
be
all
like,
four of us.
Shapoopy, I like the ring.
I like the ring.
My precious.
All right, I'll try it. Superpy. The
That's
girl
beautiful.
who's hard to get. Superpy. But you can win her yet. It started turning into like Yoda.
It started falling apart again, but it was really good. It was really good at the beginning.
You actually crushed it.
Yeah.
I felt like it turned into Yoda.
It started to, but at first it was like a good 8.
Yeah.
It was a good 8, 9 out of 10 to start, and then it turned to like a 5 out of 10 towards the end. But
I give it more than 5 at the I
the end was just Yoda.
I hope that was that Psych Mike.
That was good.
I hope that made you weak.
I appreciate
that.
It.
Is very similar to what I was hearing in my head, but wouldn't have been able to replicate. So
there's nothing better than to ask us to do or answer bizarre fucking things. That is, in many ways, the purpose of the listener mail segment.
I'm just glad that you started to call it listener mail instead of reader mail. It took a while.
It did take me a long time to do that. I don't know why. Probably because I was reading it.
Probably. It's your reader mail from the list.
True. Hey, I was probably just thinking of the old like Nintendo Power, like
100%, because that's actually readers.
Yeah. We'll do one more. And Romano, what would you like to see in a Top Key DLC? Tears of the Kingdom.
That's a you guys question for sure.
I want my motorcycle back. I want a vehicle that I don't have to build. Actually, I want like a base vehicle, right? That has like wheels and an engine of some kind that then I can attach things to. Like maybe give me like individual left and right wing instead of like the full bird wing that I could put on. I mostly want like weird zony shit and probably like a new temple. Put a new big fucking temple above the main sky island that you start on. So like way higher up. It like comes down from the heavens or something.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
New, like more built out sky temples would be sick. I'm thinking also like if they could do something where it's like you play as Zelda in the past.
Dude, that would be so sick.
I don't know how they'd make it work, but that would be a good one. Yeah, I don't know, just like more Zonai devices, like because I think, I mean, obviously there's a ton of shit you can do, but there's also like a limited amount of device. Like you very quickly, I feel, discover every device that you can use.
That's what you think until people realize like, hey, we can take the stuff out of the things, and now the engines that people are building and stuff. I was watching this person who built this mech yesterday, and it's so sick.
Yeah, it's nuts. It continues to blow my mind.
I have several now. Like my favorites are now very good. Like I have built some cool shit. Like I have some great weapons of war. I finally built something that can kill like a silver Lionel. It is
very cool.
It was tough because the hard thing with them is they can do like a scream and it'll just destroy any Zonai stuff. It just instantly destroys it. But if you stay above them, so I made one thing that like I can use a stake if there's any kind of cliffside above them, and it's got 14 laser beams on it, and it just and he can't destroy it. And then I have another. I finally built a flying machine that I could hover above him and just wipe them out. So now I've just been farming Lionels. It's been great.
Like a UFO type thing?
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of like it's sort of crazy looking, to be honest. Because you can put wheels, so you can use like the wooden wheels that you use for like carriages. You can use them like a gimbal. So like I attach the wheel to a stabilizer, and then you put the fans on the like the axle part, like in the center. So then instead of normally with the steering stick, I would turn the wheel up and down, it actually moves your fan. So I have fans that'll rotate however I want.
That's awesome.
When I'm flying. It's so fucking cool. So you can ascend and descend with it now. It's so fucking cool.
That's sick.
It's so cool.
It's crazy that it works.
It's so cool, dude.
Yeah. It's wild.
And Crazy Kids.
Oh, great show.
We got a game. We're going to play another round of Is This Real Life or Is This Just Final Fantasy? But there's a twist. Because it's also a game of... It's also a game of Are you paying attention?
Great.
Or are you listening? So we're actually going to be answering the exact same questions from last week.
But our answers are in our text messages to you.
So I've mixed the order.
Okay.
I've mixed the order.
We just wrote numbers back to
and
them, so
you just wrote numbers, and I'm assuming you don't necessarily know which ones were correct and which ones weren't. I've also removed a couple of questions as well. So there are a couple that are missing. But yeah, we're just doing the same questions from last week, and we will see whether you do better, worse, the same as last week. I also have set up a spreadsheet so I can quickly contabulate all of this.
Yeah, look at that. Is the idea behind this to see if we'd studied last week's podcast, or just to see if
you remember what the answers
you remember?
Were.
That's so Tuna would be so happy right now that you have the spreadsheet set up. It's too bad.
I know. I'm very bummed that he couldn't make it.
You were probably waiting to tell him that, I'm sure.
Well, we'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
At some point. Yes. Okay, so question number 1, and remember, just text me the answers.
Great.
And for a reminder of what the rules are, 1 through 15 are the numbers. I'm gonna ask a question that is like, what is the first Final Fantasy to do this, that, the other? You're gonna tell me the number. We're gonna add all the differences between your answer and the correct answer are gonna contabulate the end of it. Whoever was the closest will win. So the first question: which Final Fantasy is the only game in the main series to have no female playable characters? Which Final Fantasy is the only game in the main series to have no female playable characters? Okay. All right. Dan has sent it in. Chris has sent it in. Okay, next question. Which Final Fantasy is the only main title of Final Fantasy that We'll start that again.
Well,
Gollum's back. Which Final Fantasy is the only main title Final Fantasy that heals all characters between battles?
I don't know, but I like that. I want to see a Pokemon game try that.
I mean, that would be sweet, wouldn't it? Okay. All right. Dan has sent his in, and Chris has also sent his in.
I remember which ones were wrong last time, but now I can't remember how wrong.
And also the order is different from the numbers.
Well, not only that, but I remember having similar thoughts last time, and I'm like, was that a good thought?
Yeah, my hope. I'm trying not to think about what I put. I'm just trying to think about what I think the answer is, because I did pretty well the last time, so I'm just hoping I'll have the exact same thought process.
That's true.
I think this should be how much different is your score from last time, and that'll be the winner.
We can. I do want to tabulate that, so we can do that. Which Final Fantasy is the first game in the series with voice acting? Which Final Fantasy in the main series is the first game in the main series with voice acting?
I'm almost certain I remembered this one.
I think I remember what you said it was, and you were good at this one.
Okay. All right. You guys both got it in. Next question. Which is the first Final Fantasy game with summons? which is the first Final Fantasy game with summons?
Some in, some out.
Exactly. Okay. Chris has sent his in. Dan has also sent his in. All right, next question. Which Final Fantasy was originally planned to include online elements which were ultimately scrapped? Which Final Fantasy was originally planned to include online elements that were ultimately scrapped? Got 3 dots from Dan. Oh, what's that? Okay. Okay, we got that from Dan, and then Chris, what did you say? Okay, Chris sent that in. All right, next question. Which Final Fantasy was the first to feature motion capture for character animations? Okay, Dan sent his in, and Chris sent his in too. Okay. And which Final Fantasy is the only main series Final Fantasy game to have more playable female characters than playable male characters? Okay, Dan sent his.
I did. Now I did.
Oh, did you? Oh,
You're
sorry.
saying Dan sent his as I was sending mine. I was very confused.
Oh, yes, that is correct. Okay. 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 All right, last question. Which Final Fantasy is the first Final Fantasy game featuring a battle the player is supposed to lose?
Ugh.
I remember us being talking about this one for a while.
I remember that too. I don't know.
You ever played the original, Tom?
The original Final Fantasy? No. I haven't played most of them, if I'm being honest.
The only one I played before 7, because I had it on the NES.
So that was question 8.
That is, yes. We're only doing 8 questions because I removed 2 from the original. All right. I'm just adding summary things. Okay. Wow. Wowie wow. Wowie wow.
What?
Okay. It was very close.
Wow.
You guys were actually only a point different between the two of you.
Wow.
We'll just rattle them off real quick. Which Final Fantasy is the only game in the main series to have no female playable characters?
This is great because I put the same answer for this as I put for which has more women than men. I put them on the same game.
That you did. Well, you did. Chris put 13. Dan put 15. 15 was correct.
I remember 15 being right last time.
Which Final Fantasy?
I knew they were like right near each other.
Which Final Fantasy is the only main title of Final Fantasy that heals all characters between battles? The answer was 13. Dan put 10. Chris put 10 as well.
Okay.
Which Final Fantasy is the first game in the series with the voice acting? Chris put 10, which is the correct answer. And Dan put 11, so he was only one off there. Which is the first Final Fantasy game with summon magic? The answer was 3. Dan put 5. Chris put 2.
I had 3. I erased it, put 2. Damn.
Which Final Fantasy was originally planned to include online elements, which were ultimately scrapped? The answer was 10. Chris put 9, and Dan put 6. So he was a little bit
closer last
off.
time, and I completely forgot how close I was last time.
I couldn't remember what that one was at all. That was the one that I was like, oh, I have no idea.
Which Final Fantasy was the first to feature motion capture for character animations? The answer was 8. Chris put 7.
Oh.
So, Dan put 7. He was 1 off. Chris put 10. So he was 2 off there.
Mm-hmm.
Which Final Fantasy is the only main series Final Fantasy game to have more playable female characters than playable male characters? The answer was 5. Chris put 13, which he did answer as as also the one that didn't have any female characters.
Yeah.
And Dan put 3, so he was much closer on that.
Yeah, that lost it for me.
Which Final Fantasy is the first Final Fantasy game featuring a battle the player is supposed to lose? Dan put 8. Chris put 1. The answer was 2. So Chris made up a bit of ground there.
That sounds like I think Chris won.
Dan, you got 19. You did much better this time. Granted,
because I was listening better.
There's also 2 less things. Good. Chris, you got 18, which you beat Dan by 1.
Final Fantasy champ.
I'm just gonna go check the scores from last time and compare. I'm actually pretty sure Chris got like 18 or 19 last time.
I think I did a very good job of listening when you were giving the answers last time and judged my answers today based on that. And Chris just gave the same answers again.
Chris got 18.
I fucked up.
No, Chris got the exact same result, but with 2 questions less and also wildly different answers in some places.
Yeah.
And Dan had 30 last time. So,
but the question is, was this just a game of who still knows the answers, or who listened so well that they
so Chris actually did worse because his score was So Dan's the winner.
No, because that's not how you.
Dan's the winner.
This was not what it was. Comprehension game.
Dan, that's not what it was. That's not what it was.
I know.
No.
Dan gets the secret trophy.
It
like
doesn't have
like the
hidden
trophy. He gets the hidden trophy. This is me at the end of Mario Party handing out the
the stars.
Like, actually, Dan won because he got this and he spent the most.
Well, anyway, so we got a regular episode next week. The episode after that is going to be our Power Hour. If you're a Spartan, be able to watch that live on Saturday, July 1.
July 1. We're gonna go back in time. We're gonna
or the first if you're not from Mars.
We're gonna be doing some presentations. Maybe we'll find out about Tom's top 10 holes. All of our information's on there. Check out Dan's streams. Check out Tom's streams. Write in, call us, send a voicemail. Until next time, stay unranked.
Tom, how many holes do you really have?
7.
How many of them can you use to suck it?
That's a good question. I think just the one, right?